The Galactic Coalition was losing. For 3 years, they'd fought against the Void Collective, an aggressive alien empire that seemed to anticipate their every move. Their military strategists were brilliant by any standard, beings with computational minds that could calculate probabilities across thousands of variables. Yet they kept losing. In desperation, the Coalition's Supreme Commander Vexthar made an unconventional decision. He requested military consultants from Earth. 5 humans arrived at the War Strategy Institute on Meridian Station, and Commander Vexthar immediately regretted the decision. They weren't wearing proper uniforms. They asked questions that seemed obvious. One of them, a woman named Colonel Kate, actually laughed when shown the Coalition's defensive strategies. "This is neat," she said, studying the holographic battle simulations. "Very clean. Very logical. And completely predictable. Our strategies are based on optimal mathematical probability," protested General Krelthon, a crystalline being whose entire consciousness operated on calculated ratios. "Exactly," said Marcus, another human consultant. "That's your problem. War isn't math. War is chaos. Your enemy knows you think like this. They're probably predicting your moves the same way we're predicting yours, because you follow the optimal path every single time." The alien generals exchanged uncertain glances. Over the following weeks, the humans began teaching. But their methods were unconventional. They showed footage from Earth's wars, not to glorify them, but to demonstrate principles the aliens had never considered. "See here?" Colonel Kate pointed to a historical battle from Earth's 20th century. The defending force was outnumbered 3-1. By all mathematical probability, they should have lost in 40 minutes. Instead, they held the position for 6 days. "How?" asked Commander Vexthar. "They did something stupid," Kate said simply. "They sent a small group to attack the enemy's supply line, a tactically unsound decision. It divided the attacking force's attention. The Void Collective would never do this because it's mathematically inferior. But humans? We do illogical things all the time. We get angry. We make sacrifices. We do things that make no sense but create unexpected outcomes." Marcus added, "And here's the thing, the Void Collective doesn't know how to respond to illogical behavior. They calculate probabilities based on rational decisions. Introduce irrationality, and their entire system collapses." The alien generals looked at each other uncomfortably. They came from species where logic was sacred, where emotion was considered a flaw to be eliminated through evolution or technology. Another human, Chen, spoke up. "You're also too predictable in your troop movements. You always position your strongest units where logic says they should be. We'd position them where the enemy doesn't expect them. We'd use weaker units as bait. We'd sacrifice pieces of our army to gain psychological advantage. That violates basic strategic principles," General Krelthon protested. "Exactly," Chen grinned. "And that's why it works against you. The Void Collective isn't expecting it because it's not supposed to work." The final consultation came when a human named Lisa suggested something radical: use your disadvantages as advantages. The Void Collective knows you're logical. They're logical too. That makes both of you predictable to each other. But if you inject human unpredictability into your command structure, you want us to be irrational?" Commander Vexthar asked, horrified. "Not irrational," Kate corrected. "Unconventional. Use intuition. Make decisions that are strategically sound but tactically surprising. Do the thing that makes sense in the long term even if it doesn't make sense in the moment." The humans taught them about feints, deception, psychological warfare, and misdirection. They showed examples from Earth's military history, stories of smaller forces defeating larger ones through creativity, surprise, and what the aliens called inspired recklessness. 6 months later, the Coalition's military launched a new campaign. It was messy. It was chaotic. Alien generals felt deeply uncomfortable with the level of unpredictability. But it worked. The Void Collective, faced with tactics that didn't follow logical probability matrices, couldn't adapt. Their strategic computers kept calculating optimal responses to rational strategies, but the coalition wasn't fighting rationally anymore. They were fighting like humans, with intuition, surprise, and brilliant illogic. After a decisive coalition victory, Commander Vexthar met with the human consultants. "You taught us something our species had forgotten," he said slowly. "That sometimes the best strategy is to be unpredictable. To embrace the chaos. To do what shouldn't work and make it work anyway." Colonel Kate smiled. "On Earth, we call it survival. When your world is trying to kill you every single day, you learn that the rulebook can be burned. You learn to adapt. You learn that sometimes the craziest idea is the only idea that saves your life." As the humans prepared to leave, the alien generals stood at attention, a gesture they'd learned from Earth military tradition. "Thank you," Commander Vexthar said, "for teaching us how to win like you do. Like survivors." Marcus nodded. "Good luck out there. And remember, the moment your enemy figures out your new tactics, do something even more unexpected." The humans left Meridian Station as legends. They'd taught the galaxy's greatest military minds that sometimes victory came not from perfect calculation, but from beautiful, terrifying unpredictability. On Earth, they called it strategy. On alien worlds, they called it the Deathworlder way of war.